Hi friends, I'm Alejandra and today we're going to talk about Scandinavian interior design trends, what's trendy now, what most homes look like, and that kind of thing, because I feel like on YouTube a lot of YouTubers that are big are American and sometimes they talk about European and Scandinavian, and it's not really what is represented in our homes. So I thought maybe you would find it interesting to see what some Scandinavian homes look like and what trends I can see here in Scandinavia when it comes to interior design and how we decorate our homes. So yeah, I hope you think this is interesting. Otherwise, don't let me know. Or do let me know. I don't know. Do as you like. So let me put on my glasses and I will take you through a few styles that I see a lot in Sweden and in Denmark primarily, because I haven't been to Norway since I was 7. So I don't know much about Norwegian houses. But let's take a look at Danish and Swedish homes. And this one, you might have seen this a few days ago if you follow me on Instagram, because what's funny about this home is that it's very beautiful and it's a typical like apartment from probably from the turn of the century, like either late 800 beginning of 1900s. And I think this is very much the ideal home. Like, this was what I was dreaming of when I lived in Stockholm. I wanted an apartment like this. They are quite expensive just because of the details, but they are very beautiful. This home is very beautiful. But what's funny about this is that in the article, the woman living there states that she didn't want to go for a Scandinavian style, that she's more rock and roll, and that she likes a colorful palette and so on. And let me show you what is funny about this. I think she's the owner of a company that sells curtains, maybe, like interior design company. And her home is absolutely beautiful. But as you can see, it's very Scandinavian. It's very toned down. The colors are very muted. There are some accents of like small pops of colors, but otherwise it's like the prop styling. The flowers are yellow, then there's some clementines there that are orange, but everything else is very beige. She is beautiful. This is very, very Swedish to me. There's a scented candle from Byredo, a very Swedish, a very well-known Swedish perfume brand. Then this little handbag, I think this is from ATP Atelier, because I've seen it a lot. Maybe it's not. And some kind of what is this called? Some kind of credenza maybe, or yeah, a very like styled shelf there. See I don't know, are these mirror doors, or is this something that is like, sometimes I don't know if a term is something we only say in Swedish or if it's okay to translate it. But with the details, beautiful. There's this detailing around the ceiling, and you see, this is a very beautiful home, but everything about this is very Scandinavian to me. And this is a very good example of how a beautiful Scandinavian home looks like, because the base is often the same. And I think this is because Stockholm, for instance, is a city that has been around for a very long time. And we actually have a lot of older houses, not super, super old. I mean, obviously it's compared to other countries, it depends. But in terms of, if you're comparing to the US, which is a country where a lot of houses have been built more recently, these houses are like over 100 years old, and they often have very high ceilings. The windows are very big, so you have a good amount of light coming in, and I think that's probably where the style of the Scandinavian style comes from, because I don't know, maybe, I mean, it's quite dark here, like we have some sunshine today actually, and it's the 2nd of February when I'm filming this, and it feels like spring, but otherwise it's quite dark for a very long time in Scandinavia, so I guess it's super important for us to have big windows to get a lot of daylight in. And this is what you can see in older apartments. You have an old wooden floor. This is also very typical Scandinavian to have an actual hardwood floor, not these plasticky wood-like looking floors, but actually wood. You have a little French balcony there. There are a lot of natural materials, probably like cotton and jute and that kind of thing. This styling here is also very Scandinavian, very minimalistic, which is to the contrary to what she was saying that she liked. Flowers. Her bedroom, like everything is very, very neat and very, very tidy, minimalistic, and calm. So, okay, let's leave that house, because that's the very Scandinavian ideal home trend, to have it very tidy, very sleek, and you have some details of wood, dark wood or light wood, and then you have maybe some colors that are like a muted darker green or a muted darker blue or beige, and then maybe some detailing in black, like a lamp or something like that. Okay, so this home is by someone called Pernille Rosenkilde. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she's a very big Danish influencer that has a very typical, for me, a very typical Danish style in the way she dresses. And it's a lot of colors, a lot of bright colors, but a lot of pastels as well. And she's very petite and blonde, and she looks very Danish to me. So she is a good representation of a very Scandinavian style, but that is more Danish than Swedish, and that I think a lot of influencers are hopping on. I don't think she was the first one to have this, but she's a big one, and she kind of sets the tone for trends, I guess. So it's a lot of pastels, blues. The ceiling is painted in a rusty red color. She has the wooden floor. She doesn't have a rug in her living room, but she has a blue couch, and it's more of these kind of childlike shapes, like more puffy, more round shapes, fluffy, that kind of vibe, and some accents of pop culture, like a neon sign and that kind of thing. She likes patterns, florals, everything that, like almost, if you imagine like natural candy, I was gonna say, like candy, but like candy colors, but that are from nature. Does that make sense? Because I don't think she has a very plasticky style. It's more like natural colors. Okay. This sign, this print, foreigners, please don't leave us alone with the Danes. Everyone in Denmark, I guess, has that at home. It's a design collective that has made this print. So you can see her clothes here. It's a lot of colors, yellow, light blues, and like fun patterns, fun shoes. This is the first time I'm seeing this. So this looks like her kitchen, and everything is pink. It's pastel pink, the ceiling is pink, the walls are pink. I don't know if it's the same shade of pink. It looks like the ceiling might be a little lighter than the walls, but it can also be the light that is different. And then she has some accent color with red and some blue countertops. This is another angle. I mean, this home is beautiful. I would never decorate my home like this. It's not my style, but I think it's beautiful. Here's again a little drawer in a more natural material. I don't know if this is bamboo or something. So she is way more colorful than like the ideal trendy Swedish home. But I think this style, I've seen it when we were looking for apartments here in Denmark. I could see this style in the ads and also in a few homes that we went to visit. Oh yeah, and Danes, they spend quite a lot of money, I feel, on interior design and a lot of money on having cool lamps, which I think is nice because a cool lamp is like having a nice lipstick on. It's like a nice accessory that does a lot to the space. So I think that's cool. And I also like vintage lamps. I have a super cool, if you saw Caroline's video when she was designing our home, she said she liked the curved one, but then she also liked the vintage chrome lamp that I have, and that's an old IKEA lamp. So, and I guess also there are a lot of vintage IKEA, both in Danish and Swedish homes, because IKEA is from Sweden and we keep things for a long time. Maybe we have, or maybe not me personally, but others that have parents that have lived in Sweden for a long time or in Denmark for a long time, they have kept the things and then they're giving it to their kids. So I feel a lot of IKEA is still around, both older IKEA, vintage IKEA items, but also new IKEA items. I also wanted to show you a very British style because Britain is, I mean, it's located in Europe, but their style is not very Scandinavian, and there are good reasons for that. I guess it's both like, it's quite a bit, like we have water in between, but sometimes I think that Americans maybe think that like Great Britain and Scandinavia are almost the same, like Europe, and that is Europe, but that's like the western side of Europe. Then we have all the Baltic countries, and we have the Eastern European countries, and we have like Italy and Spain and Germany, and I mean the styles differ a lot throughout Europe. I was watching her home in one of these come see my home videos, and I thought her home was so beautiful. So her home is very British. Let's go to Pinterest instead of Pinterest. Oh, you can definitely follow me on Pinterest if you like my style. I know a lot of people started following me after Caroline linked my board. Matilda Goad. Okay, so this is her kitchen. Maybe you have seen this yourself. Okay, no, this is her living room. So as you can see, there's a lot of waves, a lot of patterns, a lot of floral patterns, and a lot of brighter colors. And I feel that the Brits have a more colorful way to style their homes, and it's a lot of like blues and reds and greens, and a lot of floral, like big floral patterns. I feel somehow this is very British. I guess this is something, I don't know, they feel like they have a very like royal, expensive floral patterns. I don't know if this makes sense. I'm gonna try to insert some photos for you to see what I mean. Brits love to have a lot of curtains and a lot of textiles, and I think this is because
a lot of the homes in England, I've heard this from friends from England and from Great Britain, from the UK. They have very thin glasses, and sometimes they only have like 1 or 2 glass layers on their windows, and a lot of homes are very poorly insulated, so they are always very cold inside. So I guess having a lot of thicker curtains insulates your home, or obviously it does. So I think that is a practical reason, because in Sweden we usually have like lighter curtains, like maybe a light linen curtain, and here in my Copenhagen apartment I'm sitting in the living room where we don't even have any curtains because we just want to have the light come in. So the thicker curtains is what I think of when I think of a home in London, for instance. A thicker curtain, sometimes even 2 rows of curtains, and just textiles, patterned textiles, flowers, a lot of floral patterns, all of that. Okay, something else that is very British to me is to have a very, in my mind, this is very cluttered. So they like having a lot of details. Like every time I see a video, a home tour on YouTube from a home in London, they always have so much stuff. So it's like they don't only have like 1 couch and a chair, for instance. They have 2 couches and like 4 chairs, even though it's the same space. So for me as a Swede, I would probably think it's very like crowded and very cluttered and like too much stuff. But I feel the Brits like this style more, and they always have like fun things, or they think it's fun. For me it's stressful to have like a bunch of little, I don't know, porcelain dogs or that kind of thing. Like I would be stressed about that. I don't like having a lot of smaller items. But now I was gonna make a joke that maybe it's their colonial heritage that they like owning stuff and just grabbing stuff with them. But don't get upset with me. It was a joke. But but I feel like Scandinavians have like more surface. So that's like the main difference I see between a London home and a Stockholm home, for instance. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. It would be interesting to know, like, if you are from Sweden or Denmark, or maybe from the UK, would you agree with this? Or do you think I'm like insane, like got it all wrong? And also, if you are from the US watching this video, what is your idea of a Scandinavian style? I would like to know that. That's interesting for me to know. I hope you liked this video. I hope I made sense, and I see a little ray of sunshine on my floor now, so I'm gonna go catch the sun. And I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Pinterest, and have a nice day.